Yeah, everything was beautiful until later, after our honeymoon in June. My soon-to-be ex-husband was unwell. Immediately after that, in July, we lost our child.
This woman here looks happy and smiley, but her story is one of the most mysterious I've ever seen.
That was on October 10th. I cannot forget it. I lost my husband. He came home and packed and left. No explanation whatsoever. And the same day he packed, just after he left, I got the email. My job was done.
She met a man who proposed her, but the marriage ended as one of the saddest and quickest divorce ever recorded.
At this point, I cannot lie that he ever beat me or I'll be lying. We were okay. Yani, we were okay. It was
still caring, still
yes, because I remember the only thing that happened that day when I was at work, because I had just resumed work. I called him, we talked on phone, then he was overwhelmed, he was crying. I told him, hey, what's wrong?
The crying husband left her without saying a word, in what can be dubbed the most silent divorce of all time. I kid you not. This woman had believed that she would live with her man forever, but they divorced less than 10 months after their marriage. And surprisingly, the landlord knew it before this woman.
Later, immediately, the landlord calls me. I don't have his number, and he's asking me, are you paying rent or you're leaving? Nikamuuliza, who are you? I'm the landlord. So why are you asking me? I don't even know you. Akaniambia, your husband told me he's moving out, so he's told me to ask you if you're also moving out. I'm like,
why did her husband leave her so quickly? And why the crying man never said anything to her? This is her story.
hi.
Finally,
Finally,
I'm here. How can you do it? How are you?
I'm fine. Let me help you with that.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Faith AGNETTA. I'm a realtor and a motivational speaker. I've been in real estate for 7 years and also volunteered as a speaker for 5 years in different schools and also different youth groups. I have a background in business management and Bachelor of Commerce, Finance.
Throughout life, Faith has been a hustling woman who has managed to assemble some wealth through motivation speeches, real estate, and other endeavors. The last born of her 3 siblings, Faith grew up in a good life and came to Nairobi with the aim of making it a top. She did rise through the ranks so quickly until she was in management positions, had a car and lived in a prestigious area of Nairobi with her child. That's when she met a man who was her client, and their relationship quickly escalated into something big.
He was a client and nothing more. He was there for 1 year and he was also in the process of buying a house. So I remember this particular time, I don't know if you came, you saw the old school car down there. Yeah, so that day I was leaving work, I was managing the property. So when I was leaving work, for some reason, the car just did not work. You know, I'm trying to to start it, it's totally not moving. And he was cleaning his car just
That's
the opposite.
your car?
Yes, my car. He was cleaning his car the opposite side. So I thought, anyway, before I call a mechanic or seek help, because it was in the evening, let me just say hi to my client. So I went, you know, as a manager, expected to always be like, hi, even when you're in a bad state, you say hi. So I just moved and said hi. I talked to him, I told him, good to see you. How is your stay here? When are we, finally, when are you finishing to buy the property? And I was like, I'm waiting on a few things, but I'll let you know. So he asked me, what's up with your car? I said, oh, by the way, I think there's a problem. I don't know what it is, but the car cannot move. Though I noticed in the morning when I was coming, but it's an old school, so sometimes you assume it will jump start and it will be good.
The dark was emerging and the man drove Faith home after her car had mechanical problems. On his way back to his house, Faith had another problem with her room door and informed the man again, who jumped to the opportunity and quickly returned to help Faith open her door.
So truly to his word, 5 minutes he came. I opened the gate for him, he came and he tried. Okay, I could tell he didn't know how to fix the door, but yeah, in the process of fixing the door, at that point, it's the thought that counts. So I was just impressed. So he tried. Somehow we just ended up removing the entire lock so that we get in. Yeah, so the door opened.
They spent most of the night chatting, and the following day, the man paid another visit to Faith and brought milk for her kid. They kept in touch for about 2 weeks, the time when the man finally proposed to Faith, something she hadn't seen throughout her life.
Actually, 2 weeks into it, he proposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he proposed. He took me to...
And he said yes.
I was confused. I remember asking him. Before I said yes, I asked him, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Because in my head, I'm thinking, mimi nakuja na mtu hii. I'm not coming alone.
You look like a burden.
Yeah.
And then him is like, okay.
Yeah, alafu, there is family. How will his family take everything and all that? And he just said yes. And I was like, okay, then yes to that.
You said yes.
Yes, I did.
And then?
Because actually, we might say I rushed into it, but at the same time, I had been my previous relationship. I had dated this person. We had dated, even stayed together for 4 years. The person had never ever proposed.
It was a quick and concerning proposal, but Faith had trusted her man, and the two quickly started to arrange the marriage. As they were trying to welcome her child, Faith had various complications and her unborn child couldn't survive. Later on, her husband started to develop strange behaviors and Faith was confused.
That evening afternoon, I called him, we talked on phone. Then he was overwhelmed, he was crying. I told him, hey, what's wrong? And since it was around 5th, I was doing, that's the time where I do salaries at work. So there is no way I would have left work early. Yeah, so I told him, just hold on, whatever it is, just hold on a little bit. I'll try and leave work early. Then I come home, we talk. And true to my word, that day I tried and came home early. When I came home, I did not find him. So I
left.
I asked, but he had not packed. So I asked the nanny, where has he gone? Akaniambia, there's a car that came here and he left with it. So I didn't, because he was not cheating on me. We are newly married, we are still in the lovey-dovey mood. So I just said, it's okay. I think maybe, I didn't even think anything. I was like, I'm home, so let me prepare supper, let me just settle in. Hey, ikafika saa 3, saa 4, saa 5. So minutes to midnight. Now I got concerned. I was like, it's not like me to call him, but now the fact that we had talked and he was crying, for a man to cry, that must have been a bigger thing.
Faith's concern mounted the moment she heard her husband crying on a call, and she decided to investigate further, but the man was not willing to open up about his problems. Instead, he took a long journey to his parents' house, only to emerge a few days later with a van to pack his stuff and leave without saying anything.
He came with 2 guys. He came packed. A lorry came in. A pickup. Was it a pickup? Yeah, parking. So now when they got in, he just said, I'm sorry, I have to pick my things. I'm moving out. And I'm like, wow. Okay. At that point, as a woman, we always told you know your man's weakness, or try melt him a bit. So of course, by the time he was coming, I was looking all pretty, that lipstick in looking all sexy, because I've not seen that guy for like 3 days. He was home. So I'm like, hey, okay, what's up? And as a woman, of course, unaanza kujiuliza, did you lose the touch? Where did you go wrong? Blah, 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 blah. You try evaluate everything. But he came in, he didn't even look at me, just said, I'm sorry, I have to pack. And the 2 guys, akionyesha tu what he wants. Go with that, chukua hiyo, and him was picking his stuff. And imagine that's just how he left. I remember my son was like, Daddy, can I go with you? Akamwambia no. So my son akamuuliza, can I give you my toy so that you go with it? It was so bad. I remember that kid was so broken.
What do you think that made him leave?
He keeps saying it's family. Yeah, but that unless he opens up, which I advised him at some point, I told him he needs to open up to someone. Yeah.
Before Faith got married, she was a wealthy woman who was able to pay for all her expenses. But she had cut off her side hustle job to reserve enough time to take care of her family. But now she needed money so quickly to pay her bills, including her child's school fees, which were partially unpaid by her ex-husband.
And I'll not forget when my son told me, Mommy, can I just go to school tomorrow? At least I'll eat. You eat this one. You know, and that day we had something to eat. And it really broke me. But he didn't understand that also school, he can't go without school fees.
What made Faith's situation more complicated was the fact that she couldn't easily ask for help, since most of her friends thought of her as a wealthy woman who did need their help.
And at that point, I could not talk much. I could not call my parents, I could not call my friends, because I'm that person people run to for help, to run to whenever they need someone to talk to. So, ukiwambia, I need help, they feel like you're either mocking them or it's just a joke.
Today, Faith is encouraging other people to stay strong through their challenges, and she's preparing to launch various programs to help them.
I was sitting, my mom just visited me the other day, and I was telling her, do you know, my circumstance is not that bad. And she looked at me like, are you crazy? And I'm like, it's awakened something in me. I've never been as satisfied as I am right now. Anyone going through a tough time, I would say, for a start, it always gets very hard when you don't know how to differentiate between a want and a need. Most of us need things so much. Most of us need jobs, need friendships, need relationships. We need whatever it is, you need it so bad, but you forget you're only supposed to want it. You should need yourself more than any other thing. With that, you'll remember your self-worth. You'll remember how important it is to take care of yourself. You'll remember that this is just a trial. And you know, life has challenges. One way or the other. There's no way life will be just smooth. And if it's smooth, you should think twice. There's something that is amiss. So I encourage you to just hold on to yourself. Love yourself, need yourself more than any other thing, because that's the only thing that will keep you. Many will say moved on so quickly. I did not move on so quickly. I realized that I needed to love me, I needed to need me, so that I'm even stronger to help other people. Yeah, if you want to reach me, you can get me my email address, AGNETTA, it's one word, 93@gmail.com. And also I'm on all social media platform. Just search Faith AGNETTA and you get to reach me. If you also want to support me, because I'm starting programs next year, it needs finances.
Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.